Hey everyone, welcome back to the Tres Jolie channel, or my channel. I am here with this month's scrapbooking kit, and I always get a conundrum when I'm facing new papers, because I always seem to want to hoard all of them in my just in case pile, just in case something comes along that I need them for. But this time I had an idea for the sketch challenge, and this is just my little note about the sketch. So I'm going to pop up the sketch right now. And I'm going to use that sketch not for a layout, but I think I'm going to turn it into a journal cover. I mean a journal. The sketch will be the cover, and I'm going to just kind of make a little journal. Maybe about maybe a 5, no, I kind of want it to be a 6 by, it might be 6 by 5. We'll see. I'm going to do an accordion fold. I saw, and it was actually on the AB Studio Instagram, and it was actually using the in the past papers, which that was a coincidence, but it was a smaller journal. I think from the video it looked like maybe, yeah, it was like a 4 by 4-ish journal. I think hold on, they said it in centimeters, I'll tell you. And yeah, it was like about a 4 by 4 inch. I think it was like a 10 centimeter. And I saw that and I was like, accordion fold technique looks awesome. So that's what I want to do. And I'm going to use the in the past papers. I've actually contemplated trying to stick this in. I'm not sure. I might save this one for another project. But I'm going to go over what's in the kit real quick. There is the AB Studio in the past paper pack. And I love it. I love the kind of grungy and shabby mix here. There is this sheet, American Crafts music sheet one. It is, what is it? It doesn't really have a name. It's foiled, metallic. So there's that. There's this chunk of lace here, which is probably, yeah, 3 feet, yard, almost a meter. No, a little over a meter. Anyhow, 3 feet of lace. This pack of 49 End Market frames, which I'm pretty sure I'll be able to implement in my plan, at least some of them. Depends on how big they are. A pack of flowers. There are 36 flowers in here, so good size pack of flowers. This really awesome chipboard from Scrapaholics Junkyard Corner. I don't really know if it's going to make it on this project. We'll see. Another Scrapaholics chipboard, which I will probably save to use with the musical note paper. All of this isn't going to get used on this one project, but since I don't really know entirely where it's going to go, I have to see. Okay. A pack of clock faces, Tim Holtz. I love these clock faces. I don't think I can ever get enough of them. And typewriter tiles. And these are just awesome. There's the 26 letters in here. And I love them. They're great. They're adorable. But I am going to kind of get started here. I really am excited to do the journal and do the accordion fold technique that I saw. Seems like a quick and easy way. Oh! That solves my problem. In my brain, I have problems folding regular paper. It doesn't matter the brand of paper or the thickness. You know that eventually regular paper, it doesn't take being folded very well. I figured out what I'm going to do. I remembered what I had. I will be right back. I have this. I love this paper. This is from my stash, but it is an artisan linen cardstock, and it is from Country Craft Creations. So I think I'm going to do my accordion out of this, the accordion base out of this paper. That way I'll feel better about my hinges. It's just a me thing. I'd get very stressed out knowing that the hinges could break. So I'm going to use this linen paper. And that'll also, you know, kind of give it a little bit thickness, what have you. So I'm going to cut these into, well, I'll make a note of it. I'll put the measurements down, or the size down, as I go along, because it might take me a bit of thinking it through. Before I go, I forgot to mention, this paper is very thick, right? So I had to trim off the edges that went in to, there we go. The edges that went in to the fold over, I just trimmed off because otherwise it wanted to angle out, if that makes sense. They didn't stack up, so I trimmed off a little bit and then stacked them like that before, but I think it's just because this paper's very thick. It worked. And that's my little extra flap from the back. Okay, now I'll let this sit and dry while I think about what I really want to do. Alright, I have been preparing my papers, and I think I'm going to keep the flap just single. You know, then those will be glued, and those will be glued, and so on and so forth. Anyways, because it's an accordion fold and makes its own hinges, and anyhow, so I counted 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 pages, because I'll do the same with the back, like that. So 16 surfaces to be covered. And I'm trying to get that to stay there. Okay. So I've been cutting out the elements from the papers, the tags that were on one of the sheets. These I'm just keeping together. They're smaller pieces, so I'll keep them together till I use them. These here, just making pieces. These, I don't know if I'll use smaller tags or I'll use this side to make them bigger tags. I have to wait and see on those. So I'm just trying to get things in order, get things finished up and ready to go on the pages. And I'll be putting these on before, wait a minute, yeah, before I glue it together. And no, so many things in my head right now. Alright, I'm just going to finish punching these holes. I have my little corner rounder here that may or may not get used in places. We'll see. And then I'm going to start seeing if I can find places. I have some different laces from my stash. I just went in and pulled out a bunch of different ones. Some of them are very thin, which I want on purpose because they'll sort of go in here before I close them up. I have this bit of burlap, and I have some burlap twine. Maybe it's jute. I don't know. I got it in a swap. And I'm gonna see where things go after I just wanted to sort of like catch up on what I've been doing. So I'll finish this up and then I'll be back. Well, as you can see, I did manage to sew it all on. Well, to sew it all together, to add the stitching. I probably would do it on each individual paper first, but I didn't think I was going to stitch when I first put it together. And then when I saw it all pieced up, I decided it needed stitching. It was not the easiest process because I have a standard standard sewing machine. So if this was 6 inches wide, it wouldn't have gotten the vertical ones. But I did get it all on there. I did manage to. So now I am going to move along to adding bits of ribbon and twine or lace and twine, and see where that takes me. And as I go through, I'll start trimming off all of my stitches. Here, let me just like hold it up here real quick because they're all basically the same. And because I was curious of how it would go, some of these, the pattern papers did overhang the black cardstock, but I figured I'd work that in there too, sort of do that with them. Running it through the sewing machine already roughed them up a bit for me, so I guess if there was going to be a bonus to me doing the stitching the hard way, that would have been it. But maybe do something like that. I don't know. I'll fiddle with it. Okay. On to putting the lace in on the back, so that when these get put together, the lace will be sandwiched in between. I am almost done. My base is completed. It is glued. My edges are all in place. I trimmed off the excess thread. And those overhangs I roughed up with my sanding block and the edge distresser. So everything now is just ready for the final bits, and I still have these stacked up the way I had originally laid them out. So I am just going to start. I'm going to see what I got going for all this. Oh, I remember what these were going to be for. Okay. Might add more. We'll see. Anyhow. Plus, I saved all of the edges that I cut off when I trimmed my papers. I saved them just in case, you know, little bits here and there to go in. So, I'm just going to get into it. I still have laces I could tuck in if I want. So I'm just going to go work on my pages, and that should just about finish it up. I have my little journal all put together, and here's my cover based on this month's sketch. I had that little paper where I sketched the sketch, and for the life of me I can't find it again. But here's the little, you know, the tags kind of over here, this little clock. I'll pop up the sketch again right now. Just to remind you of kind of where I was coming from. And I have all these flaps made, and I made these little booklets. I guess they're booklets. I saw that on a different, like the same video I saw that made me think of doing an accordion fold journal. I knew I wanted to do a journal. I just didn't want to necessarily go full out junk journal with all of the other papers that are in it and everything. And I saw her make these, and this was one of my, I should make a list of my, well, that seems obvious, and why didn't I think of that things? And I saw it and I was like, how have I never seen that before? Anyhow, so all these little flaps here, threw in just some note paper, another one of those, but another one. I think something may still be kind of missing. Maybe a little extra, some texture, like, because I see all these little splatters. And there's just my little journal. Diary, journal, whatever you want it to be. And I have this gesso. This is 13 Arts white gesso. And I wasn't sure which one I was going to use, but the 13 Arts gesso is really thick. This came in the April 2020 mixed media kit. And I decided, because this is, it's very thick gesso. So, I decided I would kind of spread it around in places and use, I have these Tim Holtz stencils, and I have the faded dot one. I don't know if that's its official name, but and it came in the January 2020 mixed media kit. It actually came in a 3-pack. It had the faded honeycomb and the faded diamonds in it. But I'm going to use the faded dots, dot fade. To do the finishings, and so that you can see better, I zoomed in for this one. My little notebook journal is completed. I have everything dry. You can see the gesso I put on and my tags. And so I'm just going to sort of go through real quick, and these flip up, and I tucked in one of those little papers there. There's a place here to tuck in. Oh, that was it. There are some things I added. When I was cleaning up all my supplies, I realized I should put some more of the burlap and twine in. So I did. I put a little bit up here. I think that one I added in afterwards. Another one of those. I tucked in notepad paper. I think I covered that one. Tuck in there and a tuck in here. I added a bit of the twine right here, kind of circled the word oblivion. The gesso, some of it I just sort of scraped on. Another one of these. Some more twine. That flips out. And that one flips out. And I stuck just a little bit of burlap right here. And a tuck. And on this final page, I put a little squiggly, circle-y thing of the twine. And that is it for my journal. I hope that this gave you some ideas that you could use for the sketch. It doesn't have to be a full 12 by 12 layout. You know, you can use the orientation of the sketch. This is like a mirrored image of the sketch. Elements from the sketch, tags, clock face. It's really, you're really open to interpretation on that. Thank you for joining us here at Tres Jolie. I hope that this little book gave you some ideas, this little journal gave you some ideas on what can be done with the papers that came in this month's kit, and a way that the sketch can be interpreted. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can stay up to date and get notifications when new videos are uploaded, either by me or by other members of the design team. And I hope you are having a good month, and I'll see you again soon.